Hey, Shooks. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Melanin Mayhem podcast, hosted by your favorite country girl, Renee Davis. Ooh, if this is your first time getting married with the Mayhem crew, hey, Sugarfoot, we are so glad to see you up in this piece. So go on ahead and make yourself comfortable while I let you know how we do what we do over here in these Melanin Mayhem streets. You see, every week on Wednesday, I am going to bring you the story of some diabolical, heinous, and downright audacious serial crimes committed by a melanated baddie that, in some cases, you may or may not have ever heard of before. And peep this. If you have heard of them, perhaps you don't know the full story of their prolific criminality. And I can guarantee you this, you have not heard the story the way I am going to tell it. Honey, no. You see, I am on a mission to dispel this pervasive myth in our community that there are certain types of crimes that Black people just don't commit. Baby, that is the biggest piece of propaganda that ever propped a gandle. Honey, Black people have been committing serial shenanigans since the beginning of time. But that damn myth got us up in a jam, baby, because the criminals, they out here doing the serialing, and they getting away with the shit because we don't believe that they out here like that. We always have been, and it's my job to make sure that you understand so that you can protect your neck out here in these mayhem streets. Okay? All right. Now that the visitors have been properly welcomed and the ushers are doing their thing, now it's time for the love fest to my most favorite people in the whole wide world. The garlic butter for my crab legs, the sugar in my Kool-Aid, because yes, the country girl still drink Kool-Aid. My sugar foots, the motherfucking Noir Nation. Hey, crime cousins. I hope that this Christmas Eve is giving you everything that you need, baby. I know some of y'all are in the midst of wrapping paper and tape up to your elbows, and gifts is all over the place, and you got a long night ahead of you. Or some of y'all might be just like me at work trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Or maybe you just chilling, basking in the glow of the Feliz Navidad of it all. Baby, no matter how you are doing it, when you are doing what you doing while you listening to the country girl, I am here to add a little mayhem to your day. Yeah, y'all know I'm part of the crew that works on holidays now. Not sure how long that's gonna last. I mean, I like my job, don't get me wrong. The people are cool, but I'm telling y'all, 2026, this is the last year I am working for anybody's company anymore, honey. We got so many things popping off for 2026. Me and Santa, we getting our entrepreneurial skills on. And we got some real estate plays and a couple of retail plays in motion. Plus, this podcast is blowing up. I mean, I don't have many hours to spare to make somebody else's goals a reality. I have been working for other people's companies since I was 14 years old. 36 years is long enough. I do believe it's time for me to go on ahead and clock on out. It's time for me to focus on me and the legacy that I want to leave for my family. I'm stepping out on faith, and I know it's a little scary, but you know what? God got me. So with my father in my corner, I can't help but to win. And I know somebody listening has been on the fence about stepping out on faith too. Well, baby, let this be the sign that it is your time to do this, because can't nobody do it like you. So go on ahead and get your Nike on, baby, and just do it. Okay, that's my motivational speech for Christmas. As far as church announcements go, I only have like one, maybe two. First of all, I was able to play around with the merch this week, and I have narrowed down my ideas. So now all I got to do is get this mock and play with it and see what I can do to, zhuzh it up a little bit. And I hope to have it on the website by the end of the year. Of course, I'm going to drop it in the discussion group first because membership has its privileges. And I think that y'all are going to like what I came up with. I mean, I like it. I can't wait to rock it. In other news, I'm putting together a little Galentine's situation for February. Just the girls, kicking it with the girls, doing what the girls do. Y'all, we'll talk more about that on next month, but it will be a virtual event. So you ain't got to worry about where we going to meet up at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, stay tuned for little Galentine's situation. The other little tidbit that I guess I should speak on is this Friday, coming up this Friday after Christmas, it's going to be the last installment of the Love Kill series. I know. But y'all remember I told y'all that it was triggering me and messing with my mojo. It was too much domestic violence, a whole lot of. And I found myself being too critical of the victims and questioning, why they stayed. And that's not the lane or the headspace that I want to be in. And it's also because I have been promising y'all some video type of situation, and I have finally come up with what I want to do. So January will be my, let's call it my promo month. I'm going to be teasing y'all about the new podcast you got coming your way. Now, please understand, Melanin Mayhem is not going anywhere. So, baby, stop clutching your pearls. Ain't going nowhere. Okay? There's no need to start rioting in the streets. We are just going to retire Love Kills in its current format, and we're going to replace it with something of the visual nature, but still crime themed. So stay tuned because January is all coming. Now, that's enough teasers for one day. We got to finish up this Samuel Little business today, y'all. Over the past 3 weeks, we have met the monster, we've heard the confessions, and we've spoken the names of the women that he tried to erase. And now it's time for me to tie this story up with a nice little crimson red bow as we bring this thing to a close with the final installment of this 4-part series, and the title of this episode, Quiet Carnage. All right, Noir Nation. Oh, it's so much that we've learned about the man that holds the title as the most prolific serial killer in United States history. I mean, we went deep, y'all. Deep into the dark chapters of a real deal true crime story that happened right here in America. We peeled back all the layers. We met the baby that was left on the side of the road by his mama, scooped up by his paternal grandmama that tried her best to raise him to be a productive member of society. We learned how her efforts was in vain because at a young age, Samuel Little was for the streets. We thought when we met him that he was just a lost young man, dabbling in petty crimes that kept him in and out of jail. And then we found out that he wasn't a bad petty criminal, but that he was a mastermind of serial murderations. And we ain't have no clue. Now, I'm not going to beat you over the head with no more statistics or anything like that. I don't have no more crimes to report. Today, I just want to give you my reflections on what we have uncovered and what we've been talking about over the last 3 weeks, because the country girl got thoughts, and I'm sure you do too, Noir Nation. So let me see if we both vibing and thinking about this shit the same way. The number one thing about all of this shit is that Samuel Little was the killingest killer to ever kill that we know of. I mean, this motherfucker got started in the 70s, and not as in sometime in the 70s, but he ended 1970, the year 1970, by killing a woman as his New Year's Eve celebrationism. And from that point on, he never stopped. He killed 28 women in the 9-year period of December 1970 to December 1979. These 28 women were killed in Florida, Maryland, Louisiana, Nebraska, Georgia, Ohio, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Texas, Mississippi. And then we go into the decade of the 80s. And in this 10-year period, this trifling motherfucker sent 39 women to be with the king. Like, he killed in Indiana, in Kentucky, in Georgia, Ohio, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, California, and Arizona. And then we move into the 90s, my era. That's when I was doing all my stomping. And while I was living and loving, learning how to adult, this motherfucker had 25 women that woke up in the upper room. He killed in Arkansas, California, Ohio, Mississippi, Nevada, Florida, Texas, and Louisiana during that 10-year period. And he still wasn't done, because then we move into the 2000s, and this old man at this point is still like cutting water off for a woman in Arkansas. This motherfucker was 65 years old in 2005 when he supposedly, the air quotes on that, supposedly killed his last victim. 65? All the 65-year-olds should be doing is trying to collect a Social Security check and trying not to break a hip. Like, what the fuck? This motherfucker was out here killing a bitch instead. He traveled state to state in his RV in the 2000s. He picks up this 46-year-old woman. 46! She's younger than him. Dare I say, at 46, she still got good knees and shit, you know? And one might think that at 46, she could probably hold her own with a 65-year-old man. She couldn't. She's his last victim. He killed her ass. Sam strangled her in his RV in the parking lot of a motherfucking Walmart in Tupelo, Mississippi, and then drove off and threw her body out on the side of County Road 41. At 65, y'all. That's just evil. Pure, unadulterated motherfucking evil. Nancy, that's the name of his last victim that was found in Tupelo. Nancy had family that was looking for her. That year, they looked high, they looked low, they beat the bushes, they tried everything they could to find Nancy. And a year after her disappearance, they were still looking. They putting out rewards and shit for information. Anybody that can tell us anything. Where the fuck is Nancy? But the law in Tupelo, Mississippi, in their own words about Nancy's case at the time, they said that they had exhausted all leads. All of them. There was no one left for them to talk to. All the known suspects, the hotheads, the domestic abusers, the bad boys in the county, they had all been talked to. And all of them had alibis. They didn't do it. And guess what? The law would never find the person that actually killed Nancy, because that motherfucker was a rolling stone. He was just rolling through Tupelo. They didn't even know he had been there, and wouldn't have ever known it if he hadn't confessed damn near 13 years after sending Nancy home to glory over some honey buns and Snicker bars. You know, on the one hand, it irks my soul that this motherfucking trifling has-been motherfucker was so cavalier about his confessions. I mean, it pisses me the fuck off that a bag of Lay's potato chips was all it took to get his lips to speak the words that would bring all his diabolical crimes to the forefront. And I guess y'all already know this shit burns my biscuits. That this old-ass, crow-ass motherfucker was cackling and shit as he bragging to this Texas Ranger about all the shit that he done did. But then again, I guess on the other hand, I guess I gotta be thankful that this disgusting piece of shit had a sweet tooth and the gift of gab. And he let us in on the secrets that he had been holding on to for half a goddamn century. I mean, if a bag of quarters closed a shitload of unsolved cases, I guess a bag of quarters is what was gonna have to do it. But god damn it, man. That's trifling as fuck. Like, it fucks me up, y'all. Like, honey buns and Snicker bars. I'm gonna play some shit for y'all. I want y'all to hear this man in his own words. How he's sitting back shooting the shit. Like two old men shooting the shit about what they used to do back in the day. Normally it ain't some criminalistic shit, but in this case it was, and it's just ridiculous. A pack of honey buns, some ramen noodles, vending machine shit. Whatever. Okay, I gotta get through this. But that motherfucker burns my biscuit, y'all. I guess y'all know this by now. I mean, y'all know what really fucks with me though? Like, on the real. If he confessed to 93, how many more are out there? I mean, think about it. This man was 78 years old when he started telling on himself. And at 78 and a former crack smoker, his memory ain't what it used to be. I mean, I ain't no killer, and even if you pushed me, I couldn't kill 93 motherfuckers. But for Samuel Little, that was nothing. Nothing. He started out as a petty thief, a criminal nuisance of a motherfucker. But something changed in 1970 when he was 30 years old, the age that most human beings began to think about becoming more of an adult, right? More responsible, focusing on a career, job, starting a family maybe, but not Sam. He started a new career path, all right? He started a full-time job as a serial killer. And I gotta think that the first kill, it had to be hard. I mean, the first time you do anything is hard, right? Maybe it really was difficult for him. It was a shock to the system because from December 1970 to around mid-1972, he only disconnected 5 women. And that's crazy to say only. He only disconnected 5 women in, let's call it, an 18-month period. But, I mean, clearly it slowed him up a little bit because after that, from mid-1972 on, it was on and motherfucking popping. Like, how the fuck do you kill 28 women in a 9-year period? 28? He was on his practice makes perfect kind of shit. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. He perfected that shit. A lot of people came to talk to Sam when he started talking. You know what I'm saying? Besides that Texas Ranger, a lot of people came and talked with Sam, including reporters. And there was a reporter that interviewed him. And the reporter asked him, just like everybody else want to know, why, Sam? Why the fuck you do this shit, Sam? And why these women? Why did you choose these women? And his answer, much as I despise this old motherfucker, his answer was some of the realest shit that he ever said in all of his verbal diarrheaism. He said, and I quote, "I never killed nobody like my smart baby here," talking about the reporter, this white woman. "He never killed nobody like my smart baby here. I never killed no senators or governors or fancy New York journalists. Nothing like that. I kill you, it be all over the news the next day. I stayed in the ghettos." He knew the sweet spot. He knew that he could kill as many marginal women as he wanted to, and nobody would bat a motherfucking eyelash. And clearly he wasn't lying. Clearly he was on to something because he did indeed kill every single time the feeling took him. And he never got caught. For years, he killed at will. No fear of getting caught. No, I got to run, I got to duck, I got to hide. This motherfucker lived his whole ass life. And when they finally caught up to him, he was an old man. When all his good killing years was over. But were they? Like, for a serial killer that kills at will without fear of getting caught, do they just stop cold turkey one day? The shit done got old. Tell me I done killed every type. You know how some men, I'm thinking like Wilt Chamberlain or, them old NBA players that done fucked everything that moved. And finally they just settled down with one woman because they done did it all. They done fucked everything that moved. Black, white, up, down, sideways, every kind of freaking way. This man done killed all type of women. Big ones, little ones, short ones, tall ones, black ones, white ones, brown ones. killed them this. Well, he killed them all the same way. He strangled the fuck out of them. But did he just get tired? I'm tired. I ain't gonna kill no more. I'm just fuck it. Just cold turkey. It's possible, but I don't think so. It was his full-time job. I don't think he ever retired. So back to my original point. If he confessed to 93, how many more bodies are on his hands? Like, that's all that he could remember. Not necessarily all the killations that he did. I just don't believe it. All that dope and all that time traveling from pillar to post is plenty of shit that this thinking motherfucker done forgot about. Kills that maybe just fell into his lap. He wasn't planning on killing nobody today, but the shit just popped up on him, you know? If you eat McDonald's, you remember every time you done ate McDonald's over the last 50 years? You can probably recall a few, but you ain't gonna remember all of them. I don't care. Your favorite steak restaurant, your favorite restaurant. Can you remember over a 50-year period how many times you've eaten there? Specifically? Precisely? No. It's some shit that you done forgot. And there's plenty of shit that this motherfucker had forgotten. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like, seriously. Just like a sexual body count, it's some encounters you just don't count. Come on now. We keeping it real, right? That's what we do, fam. You know, if it wasn't good, it didn't make an impression or whatever, you don't necessarily add them to your total. So, for example, you might say, if you're still dealing with folks who want to know about your body count, you might say, it's been like 6, which is another lot in and of itself, but, you know, men folk can't handle the truth. I'm sorry, whatever. Let's go with that. And of those 6 that you counting, it's like a 4 to 6 swing minimum that you don't include in that total. You know, maybe it's the ones from high school or college. Or maybe you only started counting your bodies after you hit a certain age when you was grown. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you just forgot about some motherfuckers because in 96, when everybody was lit and everybody, you know, was down with Freaknik or whatever, you don't count the rendezvous. What went down at Freaknik stays at Freaknik. That shit don't count. The girls trip, the guys trip. That shit don't count. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not out here trying to give away the business, but you can't tell me that there are not some kills that just slipped his mind. He was old. So what is the true number? Who the fuck knows? I mean, again, Sam confessed to only 93, which is crazy to say the word only and 93 in the same sentence. And I told you when he was confessing, they thought he was full of shit and was inflating his numbers to boost his ego. You know, kind of like niggas allowing they dick, whatever. They thought some of that was going on. And then them cold cases started matching up to the wins and well that Sam said that he was laying them down. Sam knew some shit that only the killer would know in these cases because remember, marginalized women, they didn't get no fanfare. Wasn't no big spreads in the newspaper talking about so-and-so died over here and this is what we found and this, that, and the third. All that shit was just wrote down in a case file and stuck in a drawer somewhere left to rot. But Sam knew. Sam could describe the clothing. Sam could describe their appearance. Sam could describe what they were. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, whoa. Let's flesh that out a little bit more for a minute. Think about this. Sam started singing in 2018. Again, he is 78 years old. But that motherfucker died in 2020, just 2 years later. Oh, yeah, he was full of diabeticals and hypertensions and all of that shit, heart disease. He was on borrowed time, which is another reason I'm sure that he started singing, because he knew he was close. But understand this, while that motherfucker was alive and talking, cases was being looked into. Cold cases were being thawed out. And based off the shit that he was saying, as well as drawing, the cops was closing cases. But when he died, so did the interest in this antique tea. When he died, they stopped trying to close them old ass cases. So now what? You know what? The same old. Those women will still and for always be known as unknown victims, Jane Does, drug addicts. Cause of death, unknown. Suspect, unknown. Basically, case closed. But before he went on to the lower room, because you understand, God, I promise you, Black Jesus, don't play with me. Please don't play with me. I will not be at the heavenly Dunkin' Donuts and run into Samuel Little. If ever there was a motherfucker who don't deserve no type of redemption, it's this motherfucker here. Please, Jesus, please don't let me run into him. Please let me be correct when I say he is downstairs in the basement of it all. Before he went down like Mary, the FBI confirmed more than 60 of those cases of them 93 that he said that he did. Listen to that, more than 60. Okay, this motherfucker is not lying. There was no cap. And they wasn't dick riding or nothing like that. I mean, the truth is true. Fact is fact. And this motherfucker is telling the truth. The 93 he said he did that shit. What 50 said? Oh yeah, he did that shit. But I understand. They confirmed a little more than 60. So let's just call it 30 cases that are still yet to be confirmed. And now there's no urgency. Sam gone. Been gone. And these victims, they been gone, right? It's been decades since anybody gave them a thought. The investigators from the original crime timeline, oh, they long gone too. Retired, dead, whatever the case may be. Them thin case files, they don't entice these new investigators to want to blow the dust off of them. Cause ain't shit there. Ain't no loose ends that they can try to pull at to tie up. Ain't no witnesses around no more. Probably ain't no evidence, period. And I mean, shit, I can't blame them. If there wasn't any information in 1978, 1988, 1998, 2008, when it was fresh on these people's minds, if a damn show ain't no info in 2025, right? You can't get blood from a turnip. The FBI website, y'all, it's still up. I'll post a link in the show notes and on the social media sites, so you can see it. You can check it out if you would like. The feds, they still say they want to know if you know any of these women that Sam say he killed. And you can see for yourself on this website how Sam describes these women and in many cases what he did to them.
So we, instead of going in there, I took her the other way. Right. Winding around, they got hills out in Kentucky, and the road winds around the hills. Mm-hmm. I seen a little short road going up the hill, and up top there was vegetation, wasn't no houses in there. And so I pulled up in there and concealed the car in that little vegetation up there on top of the hill.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about this road that goes up the hill. What kind of road is it?
It was like a dirt road.
Okay.
It was like dirt. The grass was growing in the middle between two tracks. When I left her up in that little road up there, on the side of that little road, she was like partially concealed by the vegetation. I left her there. She was kind of thin, dark skinned, about 40 years old when she was out there hustling. I think she was a drug addict because she would have been out there.
How tall was she?
She was about 5'5", 5'3".
And how much do you think she weighed?
She weighed about 110, 120.
Okay. What about her did you know?
The boy came, that was her son. And she called him over there. And he came over, hey, he shook my hand and everything. Yeah.
Now how old was he?
He was about 20 or about 19, 20.
Okay, black male or?
Black male.
And where were you at when you met her?
It was on Owens Avenue.
Okay.
Owens, that's down in the black section. Owens and Jackson.
Where do you eventually take her body to?
I was headed toward California.
Mm-hmm.
So as I drove out of Las Vegas, I seen a motel and a road leading up to the motel. And there's a lot of bushes and brushes beside the road before you got to that motel. That's where I pulled up her body out and rolled it down there. And I heard a secondary roll of noise. That meant she was still rolling.
So you basically rolled her into a pretty big ditch that's got a bunch of...
Well, it wasn't a ditch, it was a slope.
Okay.
That didn't look like a slope because the vegetation had grown up out of the slope and looked like you would think that the road would just be flat. But actually the road was going down a slope like. And that's why she rolled.
So this is a slope right off the road?
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about how far do you think you were outside of Las Vegas?
The road I was on was going towards Searchlight. So whatever the name of that road is, that's the road I was on.
How far outside of Las Vegas do you think you were? Were you in Las Vegas?
I was still in Las Vegas, yeah.
Okay.
But I was on the very outskirts.
All right.
The very outskirts. There was a couple of motels I remember, gas stations and them. It was scattered, because it was getting thin population as you go further out.
Mm-hmm. She's a black female.
Yeah.
And tell me where you met her.
I met her in a nightclub in New Orleans. Her and her sister she had two sisters. Her and her youngest sister was having a birthday party. Her sister was dancing with this guy on the floor. And when I come in, the girl that I was with offered me to dance with me. And while we were dancing, she says, you want to go riding after this party's over? We walked outside and she looked and seen my car at Lincoln. She said, oh, that's a beautiful car too. So she had arm in arm, walking to the car. We got in, stopped at the gas station. We were on the Highway 10 and going toward Slidell. I seen the sign say Little Woods. Mm-hmm. So I cut off, I took off the exit, went, and that sure enough was a road leading into the woods. And we went in and parked. So we finally got to where we were going. It was by a river, a little water thing. And the big, they had a machine out there in that little river.
Dredging?
Okay. I grabbed her by the legs and pulled her to the water. Mm-hmm. That's the only one that I ever killed by drowning.
Describe the location where she's left.
Okay, I left her with her head still in the water, half her body in the underwater, and her thighs and legs on the bank.
Tell me what that girl looked like.
Oh man, I loved her. I forget her name. Oh wait, I think it was Ruth.
Okay.
She was a heavy set, big old yellow hair, and had buck teeth. It had a gap between the teeth, that way it was. And she was like honey colored skin, and she had her hair was not really long. It was.
How tall do you think she was?
She was about 5'7".
How much do you think she weighed?
She weighed about close to 200, about 170, 180.
Pretty big girl.
Yeah.
Now where did you meet her at?
Okay, down there in the crack house. Her and about 6 other girls was sitting on the porch. The dude selling crack in there. I stopped to go in there. I seen the girl. That's why I stopped. We stayed together 2 days or more. I think about 3 days. We was going shoplifting. We went to Sears. We went to Kroger's, and that's where I got busted. Mm-hmm. They took me to jail, and she went and stayed in the car. And the manager of Kroger's, I guess he got tired of her laying in his property in that car. He called the station where I was at in North Arkansas to drop the charges. Mm-hmm. So he can come down and get this gal and car out of here. They cut me loose. So we was headed toward that place where Walmart's original store been. I hooked off the road and back into their little woods. It was a cornfield back there. I pulled through it, and on the other side of the cornfield was a trash pile. I parked the car facing out where I could see anybody coming in. So I pulled her out of the car. She's too big for me to carry her. So I just pulled her out of the car and laid on that trash that was left there.
So was it like a cornstalk pile, or was it?
Yeah, a bunch of corn stalks.
What could you see from there?
I could see the highway, mm-hmm. And in the woods that way. But it's right outside of Little Rock. I was about 10 miles from it.
From North Little Rock, you take 10 miles?
Yeah, it was about 10 miles.
Okay.
I just felt like y'all needed to hear this man in his own words, just reliving some of his greatest hits. Like, this is on the FBI's website. On this very same website, the FBI, they call Sam the most prolific killer in history. This was in 2019. But here's the thing. There has never been a movie made about him. No Netflix series. I went looking to go see what I could find. And I found 3 movies on Samuel Little. 4 years ago, Starz made a docuseries. There's a docuseries called The 93 Victims of Samuel Little. And there's a 2-hour TV special called Catching a Serial Killer. And Sam Little was one of their subjects for an episode that came out in 2000. But that's it. Ted Bundy, he got a gang of movies and docuseries and studies and shit. And Jeffrey Dahmer, he got a gang of movies and docuseries and shit based off of his life. And John Wayne Gacy, you name it. These white serial killers who were not the most prolific, the media loves them. T-shirts and shit. I am not, again, trying to glamorize or glorify any of these shenanigans, but I am just saying, Sam killed more people than all of their asses put together, but his story is regulated to, I guess, podcasts like mine. And it's not just that. We know that our stories are always discounted, always regulated to, that was an anomaly. It don't really happen like that. But this motherfucker, by y'all own words, is the most prolific serial killer in history. The most, the greatest, the biggest, the largest. And that's what we have. Crickets. Like, even when we are the undisputed greatest, the GOAT of all serial killers, you still can't get no respect on your name. Not if you black. Not if you black. A motherfucking Salt Gang member can be mediocre and they will uplift them and talk about it so that you know what to look out for. But this black man who killed 93 women at least, y'all need to know about that. That was just an anomaly. We ain't got to talk about that. Again, don't get me wrong. Samuel Little is a piece of shit, and hopefully he is roasting marshmallows right inside the internal hell fires. But I'm just saying, if ever there was a motherfucker that should have a shitload of movies and TV series and documentaries and about the shit that they did and dissecting it so the shit don't never happen again, to have works of fiction based off of his shenanigans, it should be the motherfucker that's the most prolific of all time. But he a black man. But, ain't no racism, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, Samuel Little was allowed to become because of the systematic failure of the American justice system. I'm going to call a spade a spade. America didn't just miss seeing Samuel Little. It made him possible. There is no national database for missing women, even though since the beginning of time, women have been proven to be the most vulnerable human beings on the planet. Somebody has always been actively taking a woman at the game, whether it's a family member, a friend, a spouse, unknown. The women, we take a hit since the beginning of time. And of course, the racial biases that are out here in this world, that's policy. MAGA racists are just the newest in a long line of racist factions that could give two shits about a dead black person, sex worker, a drug addict, drug user, alcoholic, whatever. Detectives have been ignoring crime reports because the victim had a record or they did sex work and they were black. Like, this is not new material. Sam killed a majority of black women. That was his bread and butter. Yeah, he did mix it up a little bit and do the occasional caucastical that fell off into his lap. Sure. But again, these caucasticals that he killed, it was the ones that wasn't nobody gonna miss. And he was right. Didn't nobody give a fuck. That's the ugly truth that we gotta sit with. He wasn't just a serial killer. He was a symptom of a sick system that still exists today. Y'all remember Black Lives Matter? Remember how the Pale Posse was like, nah, all lives matter. All lives matter unless you're a sex worker. All lives matter unless you do drugs. Ooh, all lives matter unless you're a black person. I'm so tired of shaking my damn head. This serial killing killer that killed damn near every woman he ever came in contact with. Oh, he's no longer with us today. That means that we will never, ever, ever be able to go back to the well to try to lay some more ghosts to rest. Because even now, there are families that are still waiting for answers. And even sadder, there are some that don't even know that they're waiting for an answer. It's so many Jane Does that will forever remain that way. And that's why we as podcasters, that's why we tell these stories, to keep the light on. Just in case there is somebody out there that still care. Just in case there is somebody out there who know a little something about something. Because you don't never know who's listening. Somebody might recognize something that's been said. Somebody might recognize a face because you shared a post, right? Sam gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to motherfucking dust. But let's not pretend that Samuel Little existed in a vacuum, because he didn't. If we have learned nothing else in these prolific tales of fuckery and foolishness, we know that where there is one, there are many. Sam wasn't the only one that found the secret sauce to felonious fuckery. Just like he knew women on the margins were the safest bet for a killation, others knew that shit too. We know this. I have brought you too many of their stories. And guess what? Marginal women didn't stop being marginal in the 99 and the 2000s. Right now, today, in the year of our Lord 2025, there are women in cities and towns from coast to coast that smoke dope, shoot dope, sell ass for dope, sell ass for all kinds of capitalistic reasons. And they are still today coming up missing. Today, somebody is missing. Somebody just went missing. Somebody just, poof, here today, gone tomorrow. Because there are still men like Samuel Little out there on these streets right now. Samuel Little, oh, he was the OG grandfather of serial killing. But you know what? He got plenty of offspring that learned the game the same way he did. And they are right now today killing at will, because the law don't give a fuck about a woman on the margins, because a woman on the margins has a family that don't even know that she gone for good. Why? Because they ain't looking. You know, that free spirit and all that shit. The fam don't even know that the spirit been set free literally, right? There are people in families that have been wiped off the family tree because they just can't get right. They can't live right. They can't act right because they are embarrassment to the societal norms that the family is more worried about. And all I can say is this, y'all. I mean, I've been saying a lot, but I got a little bit more to say. We all know a marginal woman. A woman that fades into the background. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's somebody that you went to school with. Maybe it's somebody that you used to work with. But it's somebody. She is somebody. And yeah, maybe she for the streets, but she's still somebody. And she might be the victim of a serial killer operating in them streets with impunity. If you got a marginal woman in your life, check on her from time to time. Let her know that she can call you. Let her know that you care. If she lives or dies, somebody got to. Yeah, she smoked dope. Yeah, he smoked dope. Yeah, they do a little something strange for a little piece of change. Yeah, they be out doing all kind of shit. Yeah. But they still human. And they still, for all the demons that they fight, they don't deserve to die at the hands of a madman, a psychotic, a masochist, someone who enjoys taking life. They don't deserve that. And again, we all know somebody, up close or peripherally, that has just faded into the background. I feel like we need some kind of registry or something. I have said this before on a previous episode. I still stand by it. We need something for these people that we call marginal. If all lives matter and we are so pro-life as a nation, then any death should be major fucking news. Like, any death should require a full court press. Leave no stone unturned as we demand justice for the life that was lost. Because all lives matter, right? Yeah, right. Samuel Little was as disgusting as a human being could actually get. He dedicated the majority of his life being a complete and total waste of flesh. Before we knew about the killing, he was a fuck up that checked in and out of jail like most people check in and out of a hotel. But Sam exposed a fatal flaw in our justice system, y'all. And that is, if you keep moving from state to state, the law can't keep up with your criminalistic activities. It's like you get a clean slate every time you cross state lines. And it's crazy, y'all, because I'm a country girl through and through. I grew up in the country. I have an affinity for trees and grass. And I love that about my state, that there are more places than not that aren't concrete and steel. And these non-metropolitan areas, ooh, they look like enchanted forests, right? As a kid, I would run barefoot through the woods behind our apartment complex in the city. And when I would visit my country relatives in the summertime in Sandersville and Irwinson, Chocolate City, you know, the places where there's one traffic light and 11 churches and nothing but trees and grass out here. Baby, I would run barefoot through them fields like it was nothing. Ooh, I can't stand that, honey. I hate shoes. If I could walk barefoot for the rest of my life, I promise you I would. Not the point, but, you know, what I was trying to say is, while I found such peace and enjoyment and laughter and joy in these wild places, it was niggas like Sam Little out there using these lush landscapes to dump bodies. And I keep going back to thinking, you know, when I was coming up, I had free spirits in my family. I had women that were addicts in my family. My maternal grandmother was a drunk. And the few memories that I have of her was of her staggering around and slurring her words. And the gossip that I would overhear as a kid, the elders, they would, you know, shake their heads and call her loose and shit. And when I was going over this list of victims and I got to the victims that were in my hometown of Macon, Georgia, I couldn't help but think, man, some of my family members could have ended up on Samuel Little's list. My grandmama was a woman on the margin, weak for the liquor, weak for a man. And while her life was tragically cut short, it wasn't because a serial killer got hold to her. It was because that rot gut liquor wouldn't let her go. I mean, she died in a nursing home way too young. But I guess the silver lining is that she died by her own actions and not by the hands of a monster. I got free-spirited cousins that was smoking and shooting up all mannerisms of dope. Cousins that would jump in and out of cars with anybody. Praise be to Black Jesus for protecting them in their addiction from the hands of a serial killer. Shit, as far as that's concerned, I even say thank you for myself. Because growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, jumping in cars with niggas that have pulled up on me talking that good, it was a thing. I mean, I shudder today at the cavalier way my generation and those before me conducted ourselves. We didn't know that there was real danger out there. And we didn't know because we were fed a steady diet of black people don't do that kind of shit. Black people don't do that kind of shit. Black people don't do them kind of crimes. I was told to stay away from the man in the white van. But I ain't never got swerved on by no man in no white van. It was niggas in box Chevys and Cadillacs and Acuras and shit that was pulling up on me and mine, you know? And just like Sam, you know, he always kept him a whip that was clean and that the ladies liked to get in and take a ride in, right? The motherfucker had talk game. The nigga had swag. He was a career criminal. You know, that bad boy persona. And even as an old man, if you watch those interviews, you can see hints of what used to be when he was free. But just imagine for a moment if just one of those jurisdictions he was locked up in had actually pressed this motherfucker and made him pay for his crime. Mississippi had him in 1984 when he killed Melinda LaPree. But because the witnesses against him were pussy saleswomen, they threw their hands in the air and said, oh, this ain't gonna work. Even though they knew he was a killer. Mississippi, knowing this nigga is a whole ass killer, he killed that woman. But they didn't have the balls to actually prosecute him because the people who gonna testify against him were pussy saleswomen. So then Mississippi was like, well, since we can't do it, shit, let's send him to Florida. Florida, they know about Sam. He killed a woman down there too, so we gonna send him to Florida. They gonna take care of their little business. Florida don't give a fuck about putting a motherfucker in prison. Let's let Florida handle our lightweight. And so they sent Sam to Florida to get the justice that he deserved. But what did Florida do? They let that ass go. The jury, they tried him. They tried. But the jury, they said since Patricia was a free spirit, she met a man in a bar and left with him, I guess she got what she deserved. We can't say for sure this man actually killed her. And the jury took less than 30 motherfucking minutes to come to that conclusion. 30 minutes to say, we can't say for sure that the motherfucker who y'all say is killing free-spirited women is the killer of Patricia. Even though we got an eyewitness that saw Pat leaving with this nigga the last time anybody saw Pat still breathing, this nigga is not guilty. Imagine if in 1982 they had put this nigga out to pasture. More than 40 women would still be alive today. But nope. We can't protect women when we don't believe women because of the way that they make their money. Some might say, nay, we don't know for a fact that was the reason. Maybe the evidence really wasn't there. Maybe, just maybe, the jury and the DA in Mississippi and in Florida, they erred on the side of caution to not send a possibly innocent black man to prison for a crime he didn't do. Okay. Some might say that. You right. But tell me this, if it wasn't because of the profession, the purveyors of the pussy, how do you explain California? Because remember, right after he got out of that shit in Mississippi and Florida, he went west and fell off into the same MO. He got caught molly-whopping and choking the shit out of Tanya Jackson. Not just caught by any old body. This motherfucker got caught by the motherfucking police. Police that were on duty in motherfucking uniform, and they caught him in the motherfucking act. Then, after they got him in for fucking up Tanya, come to find out, it was another woman the month before, Laurie Barrios, that had to play dead to get away from this motherfucker who was trying to turn her water off. They had him dead to rights, y'all. This was the time to send this motherfucker away for life. Rape, assault, attempted murder. This is 1984. A lot of lives could have been saved, but they didn't. They played this trifling, stinking motherfucker down to 4 fucking years. We can't win when the game is rigged. Even when the raping raper that rapes and the killing killer that kills is caught in the act by the law. If you are a black or a brown woman, they will plead these motherfuckers down to a slap on the wrist and let them right back out on the street just because you like to get high. Or just because you sell a little cat on the side from time to time. And I'm sorry, that's just fucking haterade. I mean, why the fuck are we hating on the oldest profession in the human world? People been selling ass since the days of the cavemen. The barter system. Y'all know pussy sell when cotton and corn don't. But we look down on these people that got the nerve to sell it and ain't ashamed of it. So as a society, we gonna fuck them. Same way they getting fucked. We gonna fuck them. We fuck them in our court systems, our law enforcement, the treatment of them, they fuck them. Marginal women don't stand a chance because they don't conform to some holier-than-thou concept of respectability politics. And who pays the price for this ultimately? Women as a whole. Black ones, brown ones, white ones, and every hue and nationality in between. Serial rapists, serial killers, they come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. But their victims are 99% the same. Women. They ain't really out here killing other men. They killing us, women. Samuel Little is the GOAT amongst the serial killers. He is the blueprint on how to fuck a bitch up and get away with it. He is the permission slip that signals to all the other sick, twisted, limp dick bastards that it's okay to go hunting for exotic animals on two legs. Marginal women, and to some extent the men, are the foundation of a very big pile of bodies gone too soon. And at what point as a society are we going to have a talk about that shit? All right, I've said my piece. I think I did the Samuel Little story some justice, and y'all apparently agree with me because the feedback has been great, honey. The comments and the reviews on the episodes, I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate your words of encouragement. I appreciate them all. So, I think that I have wrapped this one up with a nice crimson red bow. So now I need to know what y'all think about it. Come let me know your thoughts. Y'all know how to make yourselves heard. I am Melanin Mayhem Podcast on IG, Facebook, and YouTube. And on X, I am Melanin Mayhem PC. My email is melaninmayhempodcast@gmail.com. Oh, y'all, guess what? The discussion group, it has topped 1,000 members. Ew. Yeah, we deep in that thing. Deep. Y'all keep spreading the word, Noir Nation, because we are close. Ooh, we are so close to monetization, baby. 500 is our number that we're trying to hit. I am 500 hours away from meeting the 10,000 consumption hour requirement, and I am 500 people away from hitting 2,000 people streaming me on Spotify within a 30-day period. All of this is in a 30-day period. 10,000 consumption hours, 2,000 people. We're 500 away in each category. I know we gonna do it. I ain't worried about it because y'all be showing up and showing out for the country girl. So I'm gonna go on ahead and thank you in advance, baby, for rocking with me. Now, this week's Noir Nation, it's going to Shantae Dukes. Shantae said, cousin, I have got to give you your flowers. I've been rocking with you for a good while, but I had to come out my corner real quick. Girl, you are amazing, and you outdid yourself. Your dedication, thoroughness, and thoughtfulness was top tier, as always. I've been geeked ever since you announced you were doing this story. She's talking about the Samuel Little files. Thank you for paying respect to the ladies and making them human. Keep doing what you do. I can't wait to see you shine even more in 2026. Oh, Shantae, girl. Thank you, Poopy. I appreciate the review. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to write it. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to little old me. And you are absolutely right. 2026 is going to be a big one for all of us, baby. We got big things popping. I claim that. I speak it into existence because that's what the fuck we gonna do. Now, all right, Noir Nation, I got to get up out of here. I got to go get ready for work, one. And then tonight, when I come in from work, I got to get in the kitchen and polish this thing up a little bit. But y'all know, I like to close the doors of the church the same way every time we get together. So please, 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 during this fabulous holiday season, y'all stay safe and stay vigilant. And above all else, remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Noir Nation, y'all know it's one love. I love y'all for listening. I hope y'all have a fabulous Christmas. I will see you again next week with something. I have no idea what next Wednesday is going to bring, but it's going to bring something. And we're going to enjoy it and we're going to do what we do. Until we speak again, have a fabulous holiday. And thank you for rocking with the country girl. Mwah.
Ooh-wee, Nana, you did that.